Moleskine, the Italian brand of notebook and cultural, like great brand. And it was I learned a lot working with the people there. And at the same time, I opened Kapok. So just today, actually, it's already 14 years.
I know that's when we met.
Yes,
when you
and
had your
met
first
really from
store.
the beginning. So we did. We had a very small space in a very hidden street in Tin Hau. And we did an exhibition with your Daydream Nation brand.
Very fun.
Cool. Very fun, yes.
Yeah.
And we have done many projects.
So that's
we were neighbors.
We were neighbors, and then you sold a bit of our accessories and clothing, and so that's
many years. And now suddenly we are still in fashion, but
still in fashion, but we have more transitioned into a different, more sustainable, conscious. Yeah. Yes. Well, tell us more about that. I mean, okay, so Fashion Revolution, you know a bit about, right?
Yes, but tell me more.
We it all started from the Rana Plaza collapse in 2013. The factory building collapse kind of shocked a lot of us people in the fashion industry. And so Fashion Revolution started off in London. Since then, every year on the week of this, to commemorate this collapse, end of April, we have Fashion Revolution Week. So that's when we did a series of Facebook Live and talking about this event. But even though we've passed the Fashion Revolution Week, doesn't mean it's ending. Like it goes throughout all the year. All year long. And basically we're telling people to be...
doesn't stop, right?
Does not stop. And we just have to tell people to be more aware about labor condition, material and composition of your clothing, sustainability, and the problems of overconsumption, basically.
Good.
So
and for us, it's I think if you at the beginning the store actually didn't have a lot of fashion. It was more but lifestyle, but we start to have fashion, and now it's quite balanced. We really have category, but fashion accessory is a big part. And I think now if you go to our store, you see the brands that we carry, the message that we support, of course.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful selection all along. Like I love that French aesthetic you have, and the very careful selection of simple, modest, but functional product line.
I think it's important to have our clear direction, because I think when you develop independent retailer, independent brand, at one side I'm interested in many things, and I'm very curious, and many things excite me. So you will have all kind of products, from books to chocolate to clothes, candles. So, but it's important to have a point of view, to have a style. So.
I think style is a word that I think goes with Kapok, like a very...
I think there's, our taste, things we like. So it's, I think, a balance of, let's talk about clothes, clothes were comfortable, that are not over-designed, that are not too expensive, but are also well-made, can last long. But we are not in this very minimal trend also, because... we like color, we like to have fun.
That's true.
It's really, and it defines a style that is very difficult to define with adjective. But when I work with my team, my marketing team, my buyer, some brands contact us and we just say, this is Kapok, this is not Kapok. So we really have a clear idea of what it is. And I think we have a group of people that are kind of in the same vibe as us, and they really follow us and trust us. So I think we kept this. We evolve. I am not. I mean, I cannot say I don't follow trends at all. Because
you do a little bit.
Yeah, because we evolve also. Like the way I dress now compared to 5-10 years ago is different because I'm different, and I think we use clothes to express ourselves. Like when you meet someone for the first time.
That's true.
We kind of like, okay, I understand a little bit. Then you can talk and get more, but it's a very good way especially for shy people, I think, like
yeah.
me, you know, it's I don't want to talk to everyone, but then it's a way to really open the door, open the conversation, and really explain, okay, that's the kind of guy or I am. So I think, of course, we change, but we don't. I'm not interested in very hot trend for 6 months that will die down. I think it's not what we do.
So do you think you would define style differently 10 years ago from now?
Yes, I think there's some evolution, you know, in the way we dress.
Do you think you've transitioned from the way you select products?
Yeah,
like
we meet different people. We get excited by different things, but the style remains the same. But I think we have made a lot of evolution, and I think we really also make a lot of decision, not just also based on the people, the designer, their way of thinking, and also the decision regarding like, you know, working condition, what you say,
so when has this transition started, and did something spark this change for you?
Honestly, we cared for quite some time.
Yes.
It's something that I tried different things, you know. I tried to work with brands, and we also did different, even some exploring second-hand clothes, vintage clothes.
You have?
Yeah, we have.
Right. Okay.
We've tried many different things, and I have to say, at the beginning we felt a little bit alone because even our customer, they were not super into it, to be honest, you know.
At the beginning.
At the beginning.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of things there. There were a lot of misconception, you know.
Right.
I think at that time, when you talk about eco-friendly sustainability, it was not matching with our vibe, you know, of a classic with a twist. And this kind of brand that were promoting this, they were in a very crafty, macrame, hippie vibe, you know.
Exactly.
So so like I cared about. I think it was very interesting what they were doing, like on the conceptually. I cared, but then I just didn't want to wear these clothes, and my customer didn't want to wear these clothes.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end, for me, honestly, the ultimate sustainability, in a way, for me, is if you love something, if you love a piece of clothes, it's well made. Hopefully, I mean, of course, you need to have the basic cover that is not harmful material, that no one was really hurt. But then something you love and you wear for 10 years and you wear once a week, you know, that's very sustainable.
That's
actually.
True. That's true.
So the first thing to check is, like, do you love the product? Do you want to wear this over and over?
Agree.
And you don't buy it to make yourself feel better, you know? Like, I've done horrible things and I'm going to buy something green or whatever to feel, okay, I'm nice, you know? This just doesn't work.
So I think that's also why I think you're very in line with Fashion Revolution's kind of key themes about, you know, overconsumption is a serious problem in Hong Kong. Like, a lot of people just buy for the sake of releasing stress, feeling good about themselves, you know, aspiring to be someone they're probably not. You know,
I think retail therapy, you know,
it's
sometimes it's not a therapy that works very well.
No,
you know?
not
do,
at
you
all.
do a lot of harm, and maybe you need to try another way of therapy. I think, but then I think if you buy something and then suddenly, I can see that sometimes, I know it's just objects, you know, but there are some objects, some clothes, some things in my home that I start to care a little bit more than I should, you know. It's a kind of like a like an interesting relationship. You start caring about objects because they make you feel good, they make you look good, or they made you something good happen at that time, you know, and you care, you know. So I forgot what I was talking about.
So do you, like, I mean,
for consumption, you know, it's I cannot, I mean, it's very strange for me because, you know, I have a business, I have a team.
I know,
you know,
so it's a bit contradictory sometimes.
I have to cover my costs that can be very high. So,
but it's very respectable that you put, you know, sustainability or ethical production.
I think you need to find a balance. You know, I think consumption in itself. I don't know. Now we're entering a very political way of thinking. For me, it's not a problem. It's really when we're entering overconsumption and mindless consumption that is a problem. But consumption, when you know, like the brands I'm working with, I know them for 10 years from the beginning, and they're great people, and I just want to help them, and they really care, and they're really trying to bring beauty or beautiful things or well-made things to our world, and this is for me still quite respectable. You know, I think we have a need and responsibility to protect our planet, to make sure everyone has good working, but we also have this need to express ourselves, to and also to feel better. I think sometimes I don't say it's bad to buy something to feel better, but just think of what you buy. So maybe
I love
too,
your
you know? I mean,
collection.
You know, I work upstairs from the shop, and I have some days when it's like I hate life, and then I go down and I pick something, and it works for me. You know, it's not a crime to do that. I do it very regularly. But it's good if you think of what you're buying.
And it's very good that you can merge beautiful products with ethically or sustainably made.
It's still a work in progress.
I understand.
It's really we are not perfect, I have to say, and we are creating problems also. You know, I'm very aware of this. Like we are shipping a lot of things from a lot of places in the world, and then it's a lot of shipping, it's a lot of plane.
But you're conscious about.
I know it's happening. I think we are just trying to do as best as we can, you know. But it's very difficult. I think some people you meet, they are very radical, you know. It's quite respectable and quite interesting. But that's not my character also, you know.
To be so radical, you mean?
I sometimes it's not compromise, but we live in the real world
yes,
sometimes, you know, and I think it's but it's good to really try to go in the same direction.
But I have to say, like a few of the brands you carry, I think do almost 95 marks out of 100.
Yes. So I always talk about that brand Veja, you know, because
I know
the guys from this brand, the two founders, and I really admire them because they are nice people, but they are radical, and they think of everything. So it's very like they sometimes make very hard choice that was difficult for their business, but they are they really stick to it, you know. But every step, you know, like from the worker condition, from the material they use, for how they ship, for people in their warehouse, even how they reacted recently during the coronavirus. You know, they really took very step to close all their warehouse and protect everyone. So I mean, it's tough. It's a tough call because that's really stopped their business for a while.
Right.
And I think it's they managed to be, and they always tell us don't. In the store, don't tell the story. You know, we want people to buy.
Don't tell the story.
Yes, we want people. They want people to buy the shoes because they like the shoes, because they like the design, because they think it's well designed.
So your staff won't tell people about the.
We are. I mean, we can tell sometime, but like we're not supposed to put any signage or thing. I mean, they have all the information
on the website.
On the website. If you go to their shop in Paris, it's super minimal. There's no story. It's
no
just
story.
The Veja and just the shoes.
Okay.
But then, like the renovation they did in the shop was amazing because they almost didn't have any impact. You know, it's a lot of thinking, but they just think their goal is to make very desirable, beautiful products. But also, all this should be at the behind. And for me, it's a kind of model. I think
absolutely.
I feel. This should be the next step. You know, the brand should care about that.
Yeah.
It should be like caring about the ecological impact, the working condition, the social impact.
And
but it should be the basic.
The aesthetics,
it
right?
should be the basic. It should be for every brand, you know.
Exactly.
There shouldn't be any, I'm a, you know, I mean, I respect people who are doing that because they are setting the example, you know, but for me, it's just a phase.
Right.
At the real victory is that
Absolutely.
even if I go to a seemingly mass market,
Right.
actually behind is done like that. That's the kind of end game, you know, when a majority, when I can, when people that start a brand today, they feel, okay, I'm starting a brand, it's a new brand, I'm gonna make sure I tick all the box and I do everything right.
Right.
You know? And then when I also go to a fashion week, most of the brand I see, they have done all this work, you know. Then I
you
think
mean that's the ideal?
That's the ideal. But I really feel every time I go, there's some progress. There's like brands that do that, you know.
Oh, really?
Because it's coming, the pressure coming from the consumer. You know, at the end, it's I think it's a lot of power from the consumer. Yeah. I mean, when we in the store, you know, of my staff, some are very young and they are much more advanced than we are.
You mean ethically, sustainably?
Yes. They care much more than I mean, maybe not you care a lot, you know, but they care much more than people my generation. So
that's very good.
So I think there's really progress, you know, but now it's a very but it's tough because right now, you know, with what's happening, maybe it will go at the back, you know.
Go at the back.
Because some people will, I mean, there's still some companies, some owner that are, have to say, very greedy, and they will take advantage. Right. They will say, "Oh, we don't need to care that much. We don't need to care about the worker protection that much, about the pay that much, because now people are scared that they don't want to lose their job, and we can take advantage." So I think we as consumer, as a retailer, we need to be very cautious, you know, and stay away from this brand. We have a lot of brands to choose from, so I think it's good to know more and really kind of don't go toward this kind of behavior and brand.
How do you feel about sustainable brands being more expensive than other normal brands?
So I will again use the example of Veja.
Veja?
They are not much more expensive.
They're not.
They're actually less expensive than a lot of brands.
Right.
Because what they say is the big brands, they use up to 70% of their prices in marketing.
Marketing, right.
You know? Yeah. And they pay influencer and they pay billboard and they say we don't want to do that. So they take the time, you know, and they work on good products and then they say because we don't spend that, we can. Of course, making something sustainable is more expensive, you know. But then if you cut on your marketing, you can still make it less expensive. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be more expensive. There are ways, you know. Now, you know, if I even for my everyday needs, food and so on, you know, I go to place like Slowood, you know. It's not more expensive than going to supermarket when you see, you know, the reality.
Yeah, Slowood is amazing.
I think it's.
But it is more complicated, I think.
It's more complicated
in terms of production.
I think you can accept, you know.
Yeah. But I think.
I think we have to accept that. We have to accept that products are at a certain price, you know. I think that the main, now, you know, like for everything I sell, there will be a lot of people that tell me it's expensive, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's expensive if you wear it once, you know, and throw it away. If you wear it 100 times, it's not. That's like the price, the lifetime value, the price per wear, you know.
Yeah.
And I think everyone has been badly trained by the
fast fashion.
Everything is very cheap, but we all know, I mean, there's no way it can be so cheap and they can pay the workers well. They can
have
the material of good quality and so on. And so I don't know. I think it's they really and then they have. It's so cheap that they made it easy to wear something only once, you know.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of behavior that I feel should change, honestly. But I don't believe in shaming people because I hate to be shamed myself, you know. But something makes me very uncomfortable, you know, like this, you know, like this ridiculous low price you get, because I think there's
and that's exactly
hidden cost. Everyone talks
hidden
about
cost,
that,
yes.
you know, hidden cost to society, to the
to the
planet,
workers,
to the world. So just don't buy something you're gonna wear once. Don't buy something you're gonna throw away. That's. I think these habits have to change. I don't know how to do it without shaming people.
I think this trend is dying out because I think people are starting to realize that
I hope
they've accumulated so much trash in their wardrobe and they have to keep clearing it out. It's just not sustainable a thing to do.
Some other, you know, like I mean, we develop our web shop, online shop, and I think it's nice. It's convenient. I think there should be two ways to shop. You know, online when you're at home and comfortable and you have time, no pressure, and receive. It's nice. It's I don't mind. And sometimes you can go and meet people and have a recommendation. It's a different thing, you know. But what I'm super uncomfortable is the behavior of people that order 10 things and then online 10 products and then return 9, you know.
Oh no.
It's happening a lot because they have a free return and so on. So I mean, just because you can doesn't mean you should do it. I think so. I don't know how we can change this, you know.
Well, can you share with us a little bit about the personal story, like how, because I've seen beautiful photos of your not new place, relatively new apartment. Like beautiful. Of course, it's very Kapok like. And but do you have a way you organize your closet? Because I think this is a problem for many people in Hong Kong with small spaces. People buy too much, explode their wardrobe, and you know they don't. Do you have any tips?
Actually, I've been thinking about that. One way. Okay, I like things very tidy. And
I know.
very organized,
I can see from your shop.
So it's kind of a pain to work with me at the shop because I'm always like, I like it tidy. But that's me, and I think it's nice for the consumer.
That's much better when you see
enter,
everything you
know,
have. And
so I recently moved to the Blue House. So for me, it was a kind of dream area because I always liked that St. James settlement area. It's really a place I wanted to live, and I found out there was a free. One apartment that was free. And I applied. So it was like going to school. I have to write an essay. I have to have interviews.
You have to give something back to the community. I
also
heard.
Organize some things. So now we do some. Every Saturday there's some recycling initiative. Not just for us, for the entire entire neighborhood. And then I will start helping. They have a store also, and it's called House of Story to tell stories. So it's a very interesting place with very nice neighbors. So I moved last summer, and then little by little I just improved, and I think because I have a shop, people expect that I have like a lot of things.
But what is your wardrobe like?
I didn't. One way is actually I didn't want to have hidden.
So you can see everything.
Wardrobe, you know.
No doors.
There are no door. It's open racks, so you can see everything. So this is a very good way to kind of
not make it explode, like
not make it not. Because if you have cupboard, you have tendency to push, and then exploding, you know. So this is kind of everyone can see. So you really, you.
So would you say you have a small selection of clothing?
I have a small, and then when the clothes have a second life, actually, I every time I go back home, I bring some clothes to my dad.
Oh, okay. The second life is for your dad.
Yeah. So he's very happy, you know.
Okay.
He's a kind of, he lives in a small village, but it's quite stylish now.
Yeah. Okay.
And but I like this idea of second life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of this crisis will bring a lot of change, and I mean, everyone say. Some hopeful people think, oh, it's all going to be great. I think, no, we're not sure, you know, and we don't know what will happen. But I think some of the big, like the constant pushing of product by doing 2 seasons and then 4 seasons, 6 drop and everything. And it was so artificial, you know, this concept of season.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes in history to kind of a time when, okay, it's hot and it's cold and you need a sweater or you need a swimsuit. It made all sense in the past. Long time ago. To a point that now everything is about fast, new coming soon, and a lot, and it's completely disconnected from the season. We receive like the down jacket in August, you know, we receive the swimsuit in February. And it's more like kind of a way to have more, and more events, more promotion, more KOL, whatever, and then you know.
But Kapok is kind of like the anti.
So I think now a lot of brands we are talking to, they just say, okay, this is not working, you know. We really stop, you know, and we will do like something that we do well and people love. We will have it all the time. And then we will have inspiration, and then we will do capsule, and it will be fun, and we'll do it when we are ready. And we want to grow our business at our own rhythm. I think it's very interesting. And for us, it's also very, very good, you know, to do like this. That's because when you work with the season, our problem is that we have not finished selling and we have a lot of stock left, but then it's a new one and people and then it's accumulation, you know, like the problem that you have in your own cupboard, you know, in your own, we have it in our store. We have a lot of
it happens in the whole fashion industry,
and some big brand is insane, you know, and then you know there's some news of people burning the inventory and so on. So I've been thinking of this because sometimes, you know, it's not. It could be sometimes our mistake. We bought something that we thought, you know, we always mistake. Something you just get excited. And then 3 months later, you're like, what are you thinking? You know, we do that. We're not perfect. But sometimes it's just that we didn't put in a really nice space in the store. Or we sometimes forgot, you know, someone bought it and we all forgot to refill. There's a lot of way. Or we receive it at the wrong time. So there's a lot of perfectly nice clothes, you know,
and how do you
that are there. So I mean, the ways to do this outlet, massive discount and so on, but same, it's business is not very sustainable, and it's just also not I am thinking of really kind of having a location, not really outlet, you know, but just select off-season. From like kind of give a second life also to something that, you know, people didn't connect and miss, and then we still sell. And I think interesting way will be to link with an organization that is also focusing on that, to have an angle, you know, to share some of the proceeds. So that's the kind of idea I'm having right now, you know, to kind of get out of this and for some, I mean, and also for some customer, it's interesting. Sometimes they like something, you know, very much, but it's too expensive. It's a way to get some products. So we need to also every step we need to stop over ordering, you know, and but we were talking about that, you know, like I think I was recently reading an article on New York Times about a woman who launched a restaurant 10, 15 years ago, you know, and now she's not sure she will reopen, you know, and she still has some joy, but she realized it's gotten much harder in recent years, you know. Everything was more difficult because a lot of pressure on the rent, on the cost, you know, and the struggle was much more, and I think for us also, I love Kapok, I love what I do, but it's gotten much more difficult.
Right.
You know, in recent years. So
Yeah.
I hope we can have
Right,
a
the
reset,
storm.
you know, but
Yeah.
I think it needs to be. It's a bit difficult because it's always a question of power, you know.
Right.
And we are a city, and everywhere in the world, so landlord have power. So
Yeah.
how can we?
Well,
you know,
if
find
you
a
can
way?
change something in the fashion industry, like, is there one thing you'd like to change, or like a fashion utopia you'd like to see?
Wow.
I mean, you've talked a little bit about it just now, like how brands, the basic should be that everyone takes sustainability and ethical production
I
into
think,
account.
Yeah, the first thing is that
But
it should
that's
be
like a basic.
the basics of everyone.
Yeah.
And never use sustainability as a gimmick, you know.
Right.
I mean, we all know about greenwashing, but I think, you know, the consumer, they know now, they're smart.
Yeah.
I mean, no, some are very smart, some are not smart at all, you know. That's always and I think the end of fast fashion, disposable fashion, you know.
Yeah, it has to.
But you know, like sometime, like recently, you know, Japan, the economy has not been good for a very long time.
Yep.
And it was a very fashion conscious world.
Of course.
And now the young people, like buying this big fashion brand is not cool, you know.
Right.
They shift their attention, and then for them, what is cool is buying Uniqlo and looking very standard,
that's
you
true.
know.
Looking very standard.
Yeah, they don't want to stand out.
Right.
And I think we need to find the balance, you know. I think we need to care, you know, but I think we still find a way to use fashion still to express, to dream, you know. When you started your fashion brand, it was not, it was Daydream Nation. It was not utility clothes for all, you know.
No.
So it's still, I think you can balance, you know, have a backbone that is sustainable, but I think this part of dream needs to be there. Then, of course, if the big logo, overpriced streetwear trend is about to die, I'm not gonna, you know, you won't see a tear on my face, you know. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Definitely.
So yeah, who knows? But I think we shouldn't. I think we should really, all the brands and the retailer, everyone, we have to be very transparent. I think be very honest and say, like, we're on the road. It's difficult, and sometimes it's not perfect, and we do think that we prefer not to, but we have to. I like this idea to be super open, you know, share everything.
So Fashion Revolution, actually every year at Fashion Revolution Week, we've got a very detailed report called the Fashion Transparency Index. Actually, I'll send it to you because I think it's very interesting. So it's the 2021 has come out. It lists, I mean, brands can opt to join or not join. So this year, I think there's like 200 plus brands joining, and then they have a marking scheme. It doesn't mean that when you're on the top that you're like the best, but then they have a marking scheme on, you know, labor conditions, like ethical production, sustainability, and all that. So I think it's an interesting reference. Like, although it's not about shaming, it's not about endorsing brands, but it's transparency.
I think it's important, you know, and even you're not there, you're not where we want to be. You know, if we are fully transparent, we are not, there are business that are more sustainable, more conscious than us, you know, but it's good to be aware of where we're lacking and trying to find ways. I think it's important. And I think if you give all this transparency to a lot of people, then they also will help to make the right choice, to choose the right brand, you know. Sometimes, you know, people end up taking very good decision, you know. Sometimes a lot of people make very bad decision and vote for Trump, and sometimes you see it here with what happened with virus. You know, like at the beginning, the government say don't wear mask.
Right.
And let's open the border and it's fine. And then people were like, no, we want to wear masks. We wear masks. We want to. They did. No one told them what to do, but they just decided that as a community, the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So it can also happen in the fashion world. I think if you really are super honest, you know, and tell the truth. I don't know, maybe I'm very utopic, you know.
It's good
but
to
I want to believe in that, you know. I want to believe that if everyone makes the effort to be very open, then people will be ready to take better decisions. Maybe I don't know, on a too good mood today and dream too much, but I believe in it because I see it now. Like when I compare what we sell in the store compared to 10 years ago, like the share of really genuinely sustainable conscious brand is much stronger. And you talk about all categories. You talk about skincare, perfume, clothes, everywhere. So let's have a little trust that more and more people can really go in that direction. One last thing, sorry, I'm just
go for it.
You know, because I always thinking about this, you know, because you know, now it's all about climate change, and I really think we have to take action. But I also remember when I was a kid, I learned German. You know, it was my first language before English.
Okay.
And in that time, in the 80s, Germany was very, very advanced about all this issue. Right. So when I traveled there, they were already. I didn't know about recycling before, and they were just recycling all the trash, and they were talking. All the things we had to study was about the pollution, the acid rain, and so on. And I think there's a lot of. It was a big problem, the acid rain, because of you know, like because of pollution and soil pollution, and this has been solved. You know.
Right.
And if also we were in the 80s, I don't know how old you are.
80s.
You were there, 80s, right? You remember there was a whole ozone layer hole, you know, and it was caused by fridge and so on. And this actually has been solved in a way, you know. So I think if we...
So you're hopeful.
There are ways to solve,
you're optimistic.
You know, problem. It's not impossible to solve. The main problem now is that a lot of the government are putting a lot of barrier to solving this problem. So that's a big difference now, you know, that's a big danger. But I think things can be solved, but we need to have a lot of people agreeing, you know. And if the government are not making their job, then the people have to make their voice heard and do more revolutions.
That's a very nice way to end. We have to. Fashion revolution.
Fashion revolution.
Yeah,
for 10 more years, 20.
All right. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
So, bye.
Oh, yes, I forgot to look at the camera.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.